returning, some great returners. Myaja's back again. On the girls' side, Mary Boffman went to ECACs in her first ever indoor season. She qualified for that. She knows she's got to drop a lot more time in the 3,000, but she's trying to focus actually on making nationals on the mile. On the guys' side, Ethan Foster is absolutely coming off of the cross-country season in some really great shape. The workouts that he's doing, the times that he's putting in right now on the track are really setting him up for a great indoor season. And there's a lot of young blood coming in, a number of freshmen, throwers and jumpers that are still finding their way but have a ton of potential based on what they've done in high school and how well they're training. This past weekend we had our first indoor meet, and Jeffrey Nunez threw a personal best in the hammer and the weight throw and qualified him in the first meet for the ECACs. He's got a long ways to go to make nationals, but the way he's throwing, it's looking pretty good.
Well, as a team, we're kind of small. You know, we've never really had like a group of people who can always perform at the best and, you know, score a bunch of points for us. But last year we had a lot of individual people in each event, like Ian in throwing, myself in middle distance. We had sprinters, Myaja Hillman going to nationals, Sean Locker going to nationals for javelin for outdoor. That's how we've been, you know, for my majority on the team at Alfred, is really just each event has their own kind of star that does well at every meet. And, you know, that's kind of how last year went also, where it's just, you know, this person's doing good, this person's doing good, rather than there's a huge group of people doing good in every event.
My freshman year coming in here, it was a little bit different, especially coming in from high school. It was kind of not as hard as I expected at the very beginning of preseason, and then he kind of works you into it, and it got really, really difficult, but he works a lot with just kind of building you up slowly and then working into harder workouts.
Well, as of last year indoor, Jeff and myself have been making steady improvements for the throwers. We've been PRing consistently. We're looking to keep on doing that this season as well. We've been really leading the pack for the throwers, and our new guys are pretty motivated. They want to get in the circle and improve, get stronger outside, so they could have better progress in their meets. And
when a track athlete comes to college, they have to understand they can't show up for the first day of practice and get in shape like they did in high school. And our veterans know that, so there was a lot of kids, there were a number of kids as soon as they got here on campus in August that started lifting and running and doing different things that they needed to do on their own, knowing that November 1st when we start practice, they need to be ready. There are a few of our athletes that are new to that. They showed up in November like, oh, I need some work to do, or I've got some work I've got to do. So, but they've caught on pretty quickly. They're doing double workouts on their own. They're hitting the weight room. Excitement level is extremely high, and I like where we're at. The facility, the new facility, is really making the difference for us on that. We would crowd into the old Davis gym. Now we've got room to spread our wings and get the field events going. The sprinters were able to really craft their speed and work on their blocks. It's a whole new environment, and the excitement is there.
This year, I think the major difference is depth. You know, as I said last year, there's a lot of individual talent. This year we have so much in every spot that I think we're actually going to be able to put up a lot of team points this year, because instead of just, you know, one person running the 800 and doing well, we have 4 or 5 kids we could put into it and all run the exact same time within 3 seconds of each other. And of myself, I feel I'm incredibly stronger than I was last year as far as running and speed and endurance, and I think that I could break records this year and carry a lot of the freshman guys in my event, which were all middle distance, to set themselves up in a spot that they could do the same thing when they hit their junior and senior year.
Both men's and women's team have a really strong shot at getting into Empire 8s and even further in Empire 8s. We're working a lot harder this year, and there's a lot of returners that have been really putting in a lot of effort than I've seen in a long time. So it's going to be really exciting.
Well, as of this season, we've been trying to really work on mechanics when we get in the circle, try to isolate movements, try to see how our body should be feeling when we go through that motion of putting the shot or the weight throw, and really focusing on building up our strength when we get inside the circle and get a good throw out there. So we've been really working on core, explosive power, and stamina, good strength in our legs, so we can really use our hips to push through that shot put.
There are a number of kids that are talking about trying to make nationals. And as a group, they put that on each other. Are we just here to have a team, or are we here to try to take it to the next level? So, looking at our conference, which is one of the toughest in the country, they're trying to set themselves up to be champions or, compete for a championship individually in their events. And then they're looking beyond that, what kind of performances do they need to be able to make it to nationals. And they're about to go on break. They're going to be alone for 5 weeks. We've had a good preseason together, but what they do now for the next 5 weeks will tell a lot when they get back in January. But we want to show up at the Empire 8s and the New York State Conference Championships and ECACs and bring home a lot of awards, a lot of wins, and hopefully along the way break a number of records.